I thought I'd hop on here today to speak to you all about time management and techniques to improve it in the context of the high demand in our workplace, schools, and just in our personal lives. It's so easy to fall victim to distractions, procrastination, and things that's actually just holding us back from achieving that which we are wanting to achieve. To optimize our time, one has to make the conscious decision to work smarter instead of harder and to make the choice to succeed, right? Because we all know what our goals are. It's just there, it's floating in the air. But it's about redirecting your focus and constantly having that insight, right? So whether it's in the form of reminders on your wall, reminders on your phone, a wallpaper that resembles what you're working towards, constantly having your goal in sight is going to encourage you to make the choice to succeed in what you do. I am a homeschool teacher and tutor of 7 years. I have helped so many kids over the years, not only to improve their marks, but to improve their confidence and their time management skills by teaching them study techniques and the importance of time management. Without further ado, I think we can go straight into the 6 techniques that I suggest implementing from today to optimize your time in the workplace, in school, and in your personal lives. The first one is to come prepared. Being prepared in the workplace, in school, creates a sense of calmness within yourself. If you know what's going on before the time, right? Whether it's a meeting that you're needing to prepare some notes for or do some research on, whether it's a class or a lecture that you need to attend, doing some pre-reading, a preview of what you're going to be covering in that day. It gives you a peace of mind so that when you learn it or you discuss it or whenever it has to come up, you know what's being discussed. And having the content prepared before the time makes it more digestible so that when you're hearing it from your colleagues, your teacher, or your peers, it makes more sense. I know in a classroom environment, when you're sitting there, we have this mentality of feed me the information. We sit there just ready to absorb like sponges. But with that feed me mentality, you are just taking in one person's perception of the content, of the work, of whatever you're dealing with. And then you take that as, your base point. But when you read and you do your own research, you are basically putting yourself into that situation and building your own perception. So that when you hear it a second or a third time from other people, that perception can build and expand from there. Because when you hear something once, it's not really going to stick. Or when you read it once, it's not really going to stick. But if you've heard it 2, 3, 4 times, right? You're going to be so confident in that work that when it comes to things like presentations or implementing it in a test, you are going to do so much better. Ways that you can prepare: you can read through course material, that could be your textbooks, your workbooks, or anything before the actual class. So if you're going to be learning about calculus, maybe watch a YouTube video about an introduction to calculus, what it's all about. So when you learn it in class, it's going to be so much easier for you to understand. In the context of work, if you know you're going to be working on a really big project, it's understanding what are the objectives, what are the outcomes desired of this task or project that you're working on. Perhaps it's in a team context or within your individual capacity. So knowing what you need to achieve from this product, right? And what are the steps that you can implement, that will basically guide you as you work towards doing that project, right? It's almost like a little compass or a map where you need to go, what you need to do, so that when you're in that position, you know the options that are available to you. Okay, the second one I have here is being able to communicate your needs and your struggles. Many times we want to put on a strong face. So if you don't know something, you rather keep quiet and you say, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get there eventually. But that's actually the wrong mentality. Because if you suffer and you struggle in silence for too long regarding things that you don't understand, things you don't know how to operate, or anything like that, that um, how can I say, that insecurity in that work or in that concern that you are battling with, it's just going to bottle up, pile up, and accumulate, so that later along the line you have a weakened sense of confidence. Just as a very basic example, if you can't understand a basic algebra sum that you would have learned in grade 8, and you constantly have this not knowing, doubt, right? You're doubtful of yourself. When you go further and you go and build on grade 9, 10, 11 knowledge, and you're still not sure of the fundamentals that you would have learned, it's going to be very difficult to get the help you need at a later stage. So when it comes to not understanding something, say to your teacher, sorry, Miss or Mr., whatever their name is, can you please explain that again? Or what is the logic behind this question? What's the purpose of this question? Where does it appear in real life? Asking questions is so important to gaining a sense of confidence. And I say this to my students as well. Sitting there, if I'm explaining something, nodding to me makes me think you understand. But if you don't, you need to speak. Okay, you need to tell people, can you repeat that? Why do I need to do that? Because once you do that, you get confidence in being able to communicate your struggles, which helps with resolutions. Being able to resolve your problems is a very important skill, not only in school but also in the workplace. And in terms of a workplace environment, when you don't know how to operate a certain program, or you're presented with a challenge that you're not quite sure how to tackle or what the expectations are of you, then going to a colleague or going to your boss and asking them what are the objectives of this project and what are the expectations of me, how can I deliver this best to solve this problem that we are presented with. So ask for help. The third one I have here is to batch your time and your tasks. So I was actually having a conversation with one of my clients this morning, and we were talking about how people in the workplace, they're always so busy. But if you evaluate the work that they've done over the last period, it almost seems like they haven't been doing much. And that's because I think people are, because of this distraction and the procrastination, they're so focused on being busy that they actually don't get time to be productive. Because there's a difference between busyness and productivity. To be busy is just to be occupied with things, doing small things here, catching up on an admin there. And sure, those things are important, but if it's not going to help you to get to your objective, then you may need to have to reevaluate how you are spending your time. Well, productivity means plowing through things that have to get done, that have a degree of urgency. So if you need to write a report, responding to emails is not going to help you in achieving the report unless you're asking for help from one of your colleagues or your boss. But eating the frog is the concept that I heard a few years ago, and that is to tackle the most important and the biggest tasks that you are presented with, right? And in doing so, you are plowing through the work, you are increasing your productivity, and in that way, you will actually gain peace of mind. So a way that you can batch your time, you can set designated time within your day, within your schedule, allocated to certain things. So if you're working in an office and you don't have meetings, say, okay, between this time and this time, this is the only thing I'm going to focus on. I'm only going to work on my report writing, or I'm only going to allocate this time to emails. So that you don't have this, oh, let me start here, let me start there, let me go here, let me wander on onto that, because starting a lot of little things is not going to actually help you achieve one big thing. So allocating specific duties, responsibilities to time. And also working in shorter time frames. So while I think many of us are used to the conventional sit for 3-4 hours, work, study, it's actually not the best way to do it. Rather, batch your time. I usually do 25 minutes for a task because I personally have a very short attention span, using the Pomodoro technique. That's when you work for 25 minutes and you take a short break of about 5 minutes and then you do your next session. For those of you who have a greater attention span and feel like 25 minutes is not enough, possibly taking an hour at a time, allocating an hour towards a specific task, because an hour you can plow through a lot more work or bigger tasks in that time. And in doing so, by designating this time and this task within your schedule, it's basically going to minimize the chance of you procrastinating and getting distracted with something else. The next one is to ensure a good and productive environment for you to do your tasks. So in an office setting, there's not much you can control. Your office is your office, but keeping a neat and tidy space, so not having a lot of clutter on your desk or stinky food stuff nearby you, just so you can have a clear space, clear mind, so that you can work to the best of your ability. Same goes for students that are in school. Keep that phone away. Yes, it is the phone, right? The social media. We're so quick. Oh, I just got a message, let me check, and then you end up watching 10 minutes on TikTok or an hour on YouTube. Let's be real. So keep that phone away. Set a timer. Lock your phone for a certain period. I know you can get apps and settings like that where you lock your phone or you set it on a particular mode, study mode, focus mode, sleep mode, etc. So definitely doing that and informing those around you. If you're studying, say, hey mom, hey dad, hey whoever, I'm gonna sit inside for an hour. Please try to minimize distractions and interruptions because I'm working towards studying for my test. So informing those around you, because by doing so, they can then support you as best as possible. And you're also setting boundaries in doing that. So ensuring a good, safe and comfortable environment is going to increase your productivity. Next one is your method. So this can be study methods or preparation methods. For study methods, I would say learning what the different options are, whether it's your cue cards, your mind maps, etc. Which one works best for you and the specific subject that you're working towards, because different subjects require different methods. So knowing which one works, figure that out as early as possible, so that when it comes to the exams and the tests and stuff, then you are equipped and you know what works. You've discovered the recipe. When it comes to work, preparing your documents and your emails the night before, right? If you know you need to send something off at a particular time, write it and then you can schedule it on the emails. I actually learned how to do that this week. I had to send something off at a certain time for 2 consecutive days and I didn't want to be late. So I learned that on the desktop you can actually schedule the email. So you compose it and get it all ready and you set the time so that when it happens and say you're not by your laptop or your phone, it automatically sends and then you're on top of it. So preparing yourself, taking those little steps before the time is going to ensure your success towards the bigger tasks. And then the final point that I have for you today, point 6, is affirmations. So being able to manage your time and manage your schedule has to do with the belief that you can do it. So saying to yourself, now I'm choosing to focus on this task, or in order to achieve this goal, I need to achieve this step, and I'm actively going to engage in that now. Even if you need to put reminders on your table, on your wall at your office or your study station, just remind yourself, I'm doing this for a reason. I'm capable of achieving this task. And whatever that affirmation may look like for you, right? It's a personal thing. Just remind yourself, because why do we get distracted with social media and all of that? It's because we forget. We lose sight of that goal. So having those affirmations in your face, you are forced to deal with it. You are forced to be reminded of the goal that you're working towards. So yeah, those are the 6 tips that I have for you guys today. The best way to manage your time is to start today. Start now. Don't wait till next Monday. Don't wait till the weekend. If you have the time, work towards it now, because each little step that you do today is going to put you so much further in the long run. Okay, so start now, start today, and I know you can achieve it. I hope you guys have learned something from this. Let me know which of the 6 techniques have resonated with you and which you want to implement. And I hope you guys achieve all those goals. I know it's the end of the first quarter of the year. Just because the year has already started doesn't mean it's too late to start working towards a goal if you haven't already done so. As I say, starting now, starting today, can get you so much closer to something that you want by, say, June, by November. You can achieve anything if you put your mind to it. Be active, be present, and start today. If you've enjoyed this video and something resonated with you, please do consider dropping a like and subscribe, as it will help my channel to grow. And I'll see you in the next one.